Attention, stations on the network. Our broadcast will begin in 5 minutes from my mark. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. That was your 5-minute time check, stations. Attention, stations on the network. Our broadcast will begin in 2 minutes from my mark. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. That was your 2-minute time check, stations. Attention, stations on the network. Our broadcast will begin in 1 minute from my mark. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. That was your 1-minute time check, stations.
on the Hawkeye Sports Network from Learfield IMG College. This is Hawk Talk with Fran McCaffery, presented by 1201 Kitchen and Tap in Coralville, featuring an extensive menu of steak, seafood, and sandwiches, along with a full bar and wine selections. Also brought to you in part by Bud Light. Whenever there's a game to watch, there's a Bud Light there. Ford, inviting you to visit your local Ford store or buyfordnow.com. Hy-Vee Plus Premium membership delivers exceptional savings and services only for members. Save money every time you order groceries online and receive new exclusive offers each month. Membership has perks. Sign up for Hy-Vee Plus at Hy-Vee.com/plus. U.S. Bank, helping individuals and businesses work toward their financial goals. Equal housing lender, member FDIC. And by U.S. Cellular. U.S. Cellular is proud to support Hawkeye Athletics. U.S. Cellular. Choose fair. Now, here's the voice of the Hawkeyes, Gary Dolphin.
Old man winter is bearing down on Iowa tonight as the Big Ten basketball season reaches for the halfway mark of the schedule. There have been no postponements by the weather, but more than we'd like because of COVID or the virus. We're a go with Hawk Talk, though, and Iowa basketball coach Fran McCaffery. So throw another log on the fire, pull the blanket up around your shoulders as we stoke the coals on the rivalry that is Iowa and Illinois. Hi, everybody. Good evening. Welcome to Hawk Talk with the head coach of Iowa basketball, Fran McCaffery. I'm Gary Dolphin alongside my longtime broadcast partner, Bobby Hansen, and we're all snuggled up in our homes, Zooming our broadcast show for this evening because of the terrible weather that we're experiencing throughout most of Iowa, but certainly in eastern Iowa. And we know you'll bear with us, and we hope you'll join the program tonight, either on Twitter or on Facebook. I'll give you those addresses in just a minute to ask the coach a question. You know the practice and the routine here. The top two scoring teams in the Big Ten, led by the number one and number two scorers in the conference, will square off Friday night, Iowa and Illinois. Luka Garza and Ayo Dosunmu will meet at the State Farm Center in Champaign along with their teammates. Tip-off scheduled for 8 o'clock here on the Hawkeye Radio Network. Both have had a couple games postponed by the virus in the last couple weeks. Both Iowa and Illinois have, for the moment, lost games with Michigan State and Nebraska because of COVID concerns in East Lansing and Lincoln, with hopes of rescheduling both games here in the near future. But for now, the Hawks and the Illini have each other. These longtime combatants have been setting screens on each other since 1908, and they will collide for the 152nd meeting. And with that, I want to bring in my wingman, Bobby Hansen. Coach will join us in just a minute. Bobby, the Illinois-Iowa border rivalry heated up a few degrees last February down in Champaign when Illinois ended a 5-game Iowa win streak in this series, 78-76. Iowa roared back from a double-digit deficit. Game was tied at halftime, and then Kofi Coburn blocked Luka Garza's shot as time ran out to preserve the win. A tough, physical battle on the road, as they always are. And you played in this series. You know what Iowa, Illinois is all about.
Yeah, Gary, it's always going to be heated. No doubt about it. A lot of history there between the Hawkeyes and the Illini. And it got stoked up a little bit last year, if I remember right, in Iowa City. And then carried over into that highly contested 2-point game down in Champaign there. I'm reading at the end of the beginning of March, at the end of the season right there. So you got similar basketball teams that want to run, teams that are going to get after each other. You got dominant big men inside. You got outstanding guards. Ayo Dosunmu hits game-winning shots. So Hawks know what they're up against, and looking forward to this game because it's been, 8-9 days since the Hawkeyes have been able to get back into game situation because of COVID.
Yeah, it will be by Friday night, and that's a long way. It seems like a long way off now, but it'll be here before you know it. Let's welcome in Iowa coach Fran McCaffery. Fran, a little more time off than you had planned with no Nebraska yesterday. How have the Hawks used the period, practice versus meetings, or extra rest, which they can always use?
We pretty much did all of that, Dolph. Obviously, after the loss, you got to break the game down. You got to look at, okay, what did we do well? What didn't we do well? What do we have to get fixed at both ends of the floor? Obviously, CJ's hurt. anybody else that was banged up a little bit in the game, get in the training room, get with Brad, take advantage of the fact that we have 8 days to get healthy. But, the following day was a lifting day, was a video day, it was a shooting day. And then we had a great practice on Sunday. We had Saturday off, and we had today off. We'll get after it tomorrow. So Sunday and Tuesday we'll be working on ourselves. Obviously today was the first day of classes, so the guys are getting situated academically. We've been off since Thanksgiving, so they've been gone for a long time in terms of the academic side of what we're doing. And then on Wednesday we'll start locking into Illinois. Obviously Coach Kirk and myself, it's Kirk's game. We've been zeroing in on Illinois. Watched 2 games from last year. The game here in Iowa City was incredible, with seemingly a million lead changes and ties, and then Feliz hits a big 3 to go up 1. Connor hits a huge 3. We get a stop. Wieskamp hits a big 3. Garza hits a big 3, and we win the game. And then go down there. Really contested game in the first half, close at halftime. Under the 10-minute mark, we get down 16. Make a little run. They go back up 16, and they were hooting and hollering and thought it was going to be a laugher. And boy, did we hang in there. Played extremely well coming down the stretch. Connor kept connecting with Luka. Connor had 2 threes. Luka was on fire. And then got the ball for the last shot. There was a discrepancy as to whether or not it was our ball or their ball, and it seemed like they took 9 years at the monitor. Yeah. It was our ball, and Luka, I think it was 1 second left, so he's got to catch it and shoot it. He couldn't shot fake. He couldn't go up and under or anything like that, which makes it hard in any situation like that.
Yeah, it does. That was was that an underneath out of bounds, as I remember?
Underneath out of bounds, and we got it right to the front of the rim.
Yeah,
which is exactly what you want. But Kofi's a big dude, and without the ability to fake or do anything, Luke is really good in those situations. He'd been scoring like crazy. That's why we were in a position we're only down 2 after being down 16.
Well, 2 teams outstanding play again this year out of both. They're right near the top of the Big Ten standings. The Hawkeyes, of course, who were more in the corner, are 12-3, 6-2 in the Big Ten, and right there in second place, a game and a half behind front-running Michigan. Illinois is 6-3 in conference play, 10-5 on the year. Illinois had lost a couple games back-to-back before defeating Penn State last Tuesday, 79-65, excuse me. Kofi Coburn had 21 points, 12 rebounds for Illinois. The Hawks last played Thursday and dropped an 81-69 decision to Indiana at Carver Hawkeye Arena. And Fran, we talked about that game on the post game. You're up 9, 53-44 in good position midway through that second half. Felt like the Hawks felt like they should have been up more, but in the ebb and flow of a game.
By the people you want shooting the ball, and it just wasn't going in. And what you have to do in situations like that is to buckle down defensively, and we didn't. We were just okay, and they were scoring, and they hit some threes, and we didn't hit any. So Luka finally hit one. When the game was out of hand, it was our only 3 in the second half, and we were 1 for 10. Jordan didn't make one, and boy, he had good looks. I thought he did a good job getting open. We did a good job finding him. He'd been on fire. CJ, of course, got hurt, so he didn't play. It was just one of those nights where we didn't score the ball like we normally do, and we just got to make sure we do a better job of locking down at the other end when that happens.
Bobby?
Coach, you mentioned it. Yeah, can you give us any sort of a health update on CJ and after he was checked out? Yeah,
he's still kind of in the same boat, Bobby. we'll find out tomorrow if he's, cleared to do anything. He hasn't done anything since the game.
All right. If you'd like to check in with the head coach of the Hawkeyes, Fran McCaffery, please do so on Twitter @GaryDolphin, or Facebook.com/Voice of the Hawks. I want to thank U.S. Cellular. They provide our toll-free Hawkeye hotline at 877-464-2957, 1-877-464-2957. Or 1-877-GO-HAWKS, if you can remember it that way. And Jake will jot down your question or comment, pass it along to us, and we'll hit Coach up with it, okay? We're brought to you tonight by our friends at 1201 Kitchen and Tap. They are the presenting sponsor for Hawk Talk with Iowa basketball coach Fran McCaffery. 1201 Kitchen and Tap, where the focus is simple: to deliver outstanding service, quality products, and consistency, along with a great menu selection. Guests to the Coralville restaurant experience the best of Midwestern American cuisine, domestic and Iowa craft beers, and specialty drinks. Visit us at 1201 Kitchen and Tap. We look forward to getting back out there next basketball season, but with the proper protocols of COVID, everybody's behaving in that regard. But please stop and patronize our friends at 1201 Kitchen and Tap. All right, we'll step out, take our first break, come back with Iowa coach Fran McCaffery as we continue to break down Iowa at Illinois this Friday. That's next on Hawk Talk.
Get your ice cold Bud Light Seltzer here. Even though you can't go to the game, doesn't mean the game can't be brought to you now here. Just go to budlight.com/delivery. That's budlight.com/delivery.
Give me 2 mangoes.
Coming at you. It's a little short. Ow. Sorry. You know what? I'm just going to walk them over to you.
Whenever there's a game to watch, there's a Bud Light there. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light Beer, and Bud Light Seltzer, IRC Beer, beer in Texas, St. Louis, Missouri.
How do you become America's best-selling brand? Let's break it down. Innovative tech means smarter and safer driving. Intelligent all-wheel drive will keep you ready for anything. And built Ford Tough Trucks will always get the job done. Plus, come into your local Ford store today and get super low APR financing, big cash back, and great lease offers on Ford's full line of cars, trucks, and SUVs. That's Ford, and that's how you become America's best-selling brand. Sales claim based on calendar year sales.
This isn't a grilled cheese I'm making. It's a melty masterpiece that deserves a kitchen worthy of greatness.
Looks like my porch is full of packages again. It also looks like my compulsive buying needs to change to compulsive saving.
As I sit here on this couch, I decided to make some changes, starting with this couch.
I'd love to be looking out my window at a beautiful backyard instead of a brick wall. Time for a new house.
Whatever your passion, U.S. Bank can help turn it into your next pursuit. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
When the world began to change and wearing face covers was recommended for men, women, and children, Authentic Brand responded, transforming our production to much-needed quality masks and delivering on the demands of millions. This is the spirit of Authentic Brand, excelling in the areas that others cannot or will not. You feel the difference in every piece of Authentic Brand gear that you buy, giving you the authentic spirit to take the world in your own way, at work, at the game, or relaxing at home. Be authentically safe and comfortable in Authentic Brand. Visit us online at authentic-brand.com.
Here in Iowa, corn is more than our livelihood. It's our way of life. We use it to feed our livestock, helping us raise healthy pigs, cows, and chickens. We use it to make ethanol, helping us power a prosperous, clean-burning future. We use it to nourish our families, helping us stay strong generation to generation. And the more we use it, the more it boosts our economy, helping elevate the lives of all Iowans. You might think Iowa grows corn, but the truth is, corn grows Iowa.
Fans, if you want to give your taste buds the thrill of a dramatic, fun-filled victory, try Blue Bunny Loaded Sundaes. With a roster of all-star flavors, Loaded Sundaes have tons of toppings, swirled in deliciously soft ice cream. Even better, they come straight from the freezer, so you can grab one and get right back to the game. The next time you're in the freezer aisle, let your fun side act as head coach. Get Blue Bunny Loaded Sundaes, available now at your local grocery store.
We're back on Hawk Talk with Iowa basketball coach Fran McCaffery on this wintry Monday night in Iowa. Hey, this is what Big Ten basketball weather's all about come January or February as we get down to crunch time. On that note, the AP, the new Associated Press Top 25, is out this week. If you listened to Bobby and I last week on the postgame show, we didn't think Iowa would drop too far, and they didn't after the loss to Indiana. The Hawks are number 7 this week. Gonzaga, Baylor, and Villanova are 1, 2, and 3. Michigan is 4th. Texas is 5th. Then it's Houston, the Hawks, Virginia, Alabama, and Texas Tech. Other Big Ten teams in the top 25. Ohio State is 13. Wisconsin 14. Illinois, the Hawks' opponent, is 19th. Minnesota hanging in there at number 21. So still a good mixture of Big Ten teams in the top 25. And, of course, the next one up for the Hawkeyes, Illinois, coming up on Friday. And Coach Luka Garza leads the Big Ten at 27 points a game. Oyo DeSumo is next at nearly 22 a game. And we all know what kind of player he is. He's such a wonderful basketball player to watch at both ends of the floor. What have you seen on tape or seen with him last year to this year? How has he improved over his junior season?
His game was pretty complete last year, Dolph. I think the difference would be he's just playing with an incredible amount of confidence. As you well know, I mean, in transition, he's lethal. If he gets out and there's any space, he's always been really good going right. He seems to be going left a little bit more effectively than he was before. But he's a tough cover because he makes threes. He's got a pull-up game, and he can get to the rim. But the other thing he does, he plays defense. You know, a lot of really good scorers don't. You know, they kind of coast and stay out of foul trouble and don't really exert themselves the way they should. But he plays defense. And I think when you look at him as a guy that wants to play in the NBA, I think the idea that he does equally well at both ends will really bode well for him.
And, Coach, can you talk to us a little bit about any new additions for you mentioned Felice last year. He's gone. But, again, new guy I saw, Curbelo. I like his game.
Curbelo's really good. He plays a lot. He comes off the bench. He's a point guard out of New York, very creative. But the kid Adam Miller is also a freshman. He's a shooter. So he kind of fills in there. He's bigger than Curbelo and really a good three-point shooter. You know, Georgie's coming off the bench now, Benishvili. Now, they'll play him a little bit, but normally they were trying to play them both together, he and Kofi, but now Georgie kind of comes in for Kofi, and they play, Williams at the 4. He's shooting about 60% from 3. So he went from being a guy that really didn't even shoot that much to a guy who's shooting 60% from 3. So you put Miller and Williams in there, with Frazier and Io, and then you factor in Curbelo and Georgie coming off the bench. Really good lineup.
Coach, Trent Frazier, I've been watching him in a few games. He can hurt you. He can be a streaky shooter. He's got a little game, too, around the perimeter, doesn't he?
Well, he's been really good from the day he got there. But another guy who really works hard defensively, he's gonna really exert effort, probably guard J-Bo or CJ, depending upon if CJ plays. Brad really trusts him with the ball late in the game. He gets the ball to Io, he gets the ball to their shooters, he gets the ball inside to Kofi, competes defensively, like I said. Now, they also will play Curbelo, Frazier, and Io together, which makes them really tough off the dribble, really creative offensive group, really good in ball screens. So we're really going to be locked in with that lineup.
And Coach, if you will, the game against Indiana, battle on the block, big guy, Trace Jackson Davis, Race Thompson versus Luka Garza. You got a different type of big guy here in Kofi Coburn. Where has he gotten better? I know his body's gotten bigger. It looks like hitting the weight room, but where has he improved his skill set?
Actually, his body's improved. I think he lost weight. I think he's a little leaner. I think he was a little too big last year. Not that he was fat. He was not. He was just a big, physical, strong guy. But what you're seeing now, he's just a little bit leaner. And when you watch a guy that's 7 feet, 285, change ends of the floor the way he does, he really runs. He posts hard. He's doing a little more off his right shoulder. He used to do pretty much nothing but his left shoulder. But a guy that, if you give him deep post position, he's a handful. Passing better out of the post. He's one of those guys that struggled, in a crowd, but, he's doing a lot better with that. But a guy that, as you know, you see him all the time, that, they put their name in and they're kind of thinking they're going to come out, they're going to go to the league, and then they decide to come back. When you do that, you got to come back with the right attitude. And I think most people thought both of those guys would not be back. And the fact that they came back both with the right attitude, I think is very important for that team and their ability to have success, which they've had.
Fran, this past weekend we saw, once again, a handful of wins by the road teams. I want to get your thoughts. Listen to an interview of Coach Holtman at Ohio State. They won at the Kohl Center. Rutgers went into Indiana yesterday, knocked off the Hoosiers. Illinois had lost back-to-back home games. And a lot of the coaches I've heard say that, it's more of a neutral site feel to it, that they're not sure there is a bona fide home court advantage in the Big Ten because, obviously, of no fans in the building. I know you've commented or talked generally about that, but what are your thoughts here halfway through the season? Is it a pretty level playing field, home and away, you feel?
Yeah, it is. I think that's a valid point. You have the one component of, okay, one team's traveling, one team's not. Familiarity with the building, with the basketballs that you're playing with. So there's a little bit of an advantage. But, that home crowd in the Big Ten really creates energy for the home team and helps you get on a run, helps you keep the other team from getting on a run sometimes. And now it's just, two teams relying on themselves out there and the guys on the bench that are supporting you. Luckily, we have a great group of young men that really support the guys that are out there on the floor. And I think you're seeing more and more teams, pretty much everybody, quite frankly, the guys that aren't in the game are really animated because there's nobody else in the building. You have the fake crowd noise, which I don't know if that provides anything of value or not. It kind of makes it so that you're not just hearing the squeak of the sneakers. So it's a weird year, in so many ways. So it'd be interesting to see what the numbers show when it's all said and done.
Yeah, right now, I'll just add it. So the 70% of the games are still won by the home team, but that gives you an idea, I think, of how dominant the home team has been over the years when there are crowds in the building. Bobby?
Yeah, my question, Fran, can you help our fans and listeners out with Michigan taking a 2-week pause, and how is that going to affect everything in the next month and a half?
Well, this is a strange one, Bobby, because, when Nebraska shut down, Fred got sick and some of his players got sick, and, we're all thinking of those guys and praying, hope they get better. Same thing with Penn State. They shut it down for 8 days, but they had a bunch of guys that tested positive, and you got to quarantine them and help them get better. That's just kind of what we all expected. This is different. Somebody else went home and came back with the different variant of the disease, and now they shut down everybody in that county, which I get. I would be willing to bet that Juwan Howard is not too happy about it. He's too smart to say anything about it because you're not going to question the CDC or the health experts in your city, because at the end of the day, health and welfare is the most important thing. We all know that. We all agree with that. But one of the things that we've done is we've talked about is we test every day. So we have a snapshot of what our guys are feeling. Is anybody positive? Is everybody negative? If everybody's negative, let's play. That's kind of my feeling. And I haven't asked Juwan, but my guess is he would feel the same way. But that's the wacky year that this is. And you're right, it's going to affect scheduling in a big way. So what you're going to find is we have 8 days off, and now all of a sudden you're going to be playing 5 games in 9 days or 4 games in 7 days. They're going to be bunched up. Might play 2 games in the same weekend. Who knows? So I think when we started, we all kind of got on board and said, whatever happens, we'll deal with it. You pivot and you move forward. If you're healthy and you have a game and you can play it, you play it. If it gets canceled, well, no, it's not canceled. It's postponed. That means it will be rescheduled and we'll play it at another time. So there's going to be some flexibility going all the way through, I think, the conference tournament. And we'll just deal with it then.
Coach, is it your understanding that they have to be quarantined in their apartment or in their dorms and can't work out, can't go to a gym? That seems ludicrous.
Well, it would seem ludicrous if you have a team, an entire healthy roster.
Yeah.
My understanding is Michigan's roster is entirely healthy. And so they're going to want to go to the gym. They're going to want to work out. It's not like you can even really go for a run these days with the snow and the cold.
Yeah.
Go for a walk, maybe, something like that. So you just sit tight, Bobby. That's all you can do.
Yeah.
Yeah, everything's unprecedented as you move forward into this dark hole of COVID. On that note, Coach, I got a couple questions or comments on Facebook and on Twitter at Gary Dolphin. Tina. Coach, has there been any talk at the Big Ten or the national level about COVID vaccines for the players and the staff? Well, certainly there's been some conversation about it. What is the schedule in terms of receiving the vaccine and when?
Quite honestly, Dolph, I'm really disappointed that we have no idea. Nobody said a word. Okay, you're on a list based on your age. You're on a list based on your occupation. The shots will be given at this time at the University of Iowa hospitals and clinics or somewhere else. I have no idea. I'm really disappointed in that, to be frank.
Yeah, I certainly understand your feelings there, Coach.
Yeah. I'm sure I'm not the only one on that list. I mean, everybody wants the vaccine. And what I hope doesn't happen is that we become so obsessed with, well, what's the priority on the list? So-and-so should get it before me, and I should get it before somebody else. My thing is get these vaccines in people's arms. If you get to me later, you get to me later. If you get to me earlier, you get to me earlier. I'm not complaining. I'm not mad at anybody that goes before me. Well, let's get them in arms.
Yeah, it sounds like the delivery system is where the issue has been. And I know nothing about it. I'm not in an accusatory mood here. Jim wants to know, there's some chatter that some teams may opt out of their conference tournament if they are a lock for the NCAA tournament. Do you really see that actually happening?
I think it's a possibility. I don't believe we'll be in that group. I from the beginning said play the games. We're going to play the games. So we'll play the rest of the regular season. We'll play the conference tournament, and we'll play the NCAA tournament, and we'll do the best we can to be mature and conscious of being safe. I get it. One of the things we talked about last week was I've been a big proponent of let's be flexible and let's move the tournament if we have to. The more I'm learning about this, guys, it's more complicated than that. And I probably jumped the gun. If we were going to move it, we would have to move it and say, okay, it's going to be May this. Because the NCAA is really working hard, diligently, on creating what is very similar to the bubble that existed for the NBA. Mm-hmm. So we're going to be in certain hotels. We're going to eat a certain way. We're not leaving the hotels. Everybody's got a single room. Your tier one party is at a small number, and we don't deviate from that. You walk across the street, You practice, you go back, you eat your meals in the hotel. You're not going to restaurants. You're not seeing family members. So in order to create that kind of atmosphere, you've got to sign contracts, you've got to commit, and then you've got to stay true to what that is. So you can't say, oh, by the way, we're going to move 3 weeks now. It doesn't work that way. It logistically would be a nightmare. So that's why I feel really confident about the NCAA tournament, because I really think Danny Gavin and his staff have thought this thing through. How the Big Ten tournament or any other conference tournament factors into that, we'll see. Will it look like it's always looked? I don't know. So the question is a legitimate one, and one I don't have a specific answer to.
That's a good answer, though, Coach. On that note, I was just reading an article yesterday where the men's basketball NCAA tournament, men's basketball first four, will take place Thursday, March 18th at Purdue's. At least this is the plan. March 18th at Mackey Arena and Indiana's Assembly Hall. The Sweet 16 will be at Bankers Life Fieldhouse and Hinkle Fieldhouse on the Butler campus. That's Saturday and Sunday, March 27th and 28th. The Elite Eight plays off Monday and Tuesday, March 29 and 30. And the Final Four set for Saturday through Monday, April 3rd and 5th at Lucas Oil Stadium. So clearly they've been working long hours trying to get this all figured out, at least where the March Madness is concerned.
Yeah, and I've been really impressed with that, guys. The more I'm learning about this, it is so much more complicated than what I thought it was. And fortunately, you have the facilities that you just mentioned that are perfect for this type of situation. And, obviously we're concerned about, okay, where are they going to be staying? Where are they going to be practicing? Where are they going to be playing? And can we, not have a situation where a team that makes the Final Four can't perform? That would be something that would be, somewhat tragic. So I think Indianapolis has really worked very well with the NCAA, and we're all going to be on board with that. In all likelihood, when it's been talked about, if we end up playing in Indianapolis, the conference tournament, that would simplify travel as it relates to whether it was Chicago to Indy. But right now, what I'm trying to do is not concern myself with that. It's keeping my team healthy and getting my team ready to play Illinois and getting my team ready to play in the NCAA tournament. We need to win more games to make sure we're safely in. Because this league is brutal. And as you know, you could play really well and lose some games. A lot of teams have found that out the hard way already. So I've been really impressed with our team's ability to understand that and be really, really mature in handling that.
Coach, having said that, a question from Mary upstairs. She wants to know, how is it coaching in warm-ups, kind of a little more casual this year? Got the tennis shoes on and put the suits in the closet.
Yeah, I kind of like it, Bobby.
Yeah, I bet.
I was kind of hoping, that that would be a trend that continued.
Yeah.
I don't feel a need to have to wear a suit and tie. Why we always did that, I don't know. It just kind of was always the way we did it. I don't know that there's any advantage to it or it makes sense. I'd much rather coach in casual attire that's comfortable, wear the sneaks, and just go do my job. I don't think anybody would feel emotional about it one way or the the
Hey, George Raveling was a trendsetter.
Yeah.
He was way ahead of the curve
40 years ago.
Well, now Calipari's got the sport coat on. You got to give him a call and tell him to ditch that thing.
Well, there are a few other teams, Bobby, that are still in suits.
Are they? Oh.
Yeah, this is suits and sneakers week. So I've actually struggled with, should I wear a suit on Friday with my sneakers? Because it's suits and sneakers week. I'll have to struggle with that. But I have I'm going to wear the same Coaches versus Cancer shoes that I wore for the Gonzaga game.
Yeah, awesome.
Good stuff. And George would order a pizza for the back door on his way out of the tunnel after the game, after his press conference. And on his way home, he went. Coach Raveling had it all figured out. Fran, one more question before we take a break here related to the scheduling, not necessarily in the NCAA tournament, but John wants to know on Facebook at facebook.com/Voice of the Hawkeyes. Fran, any update on regular season scheduling? Who's involved in making these changes? Is there a certain number of days you need before you can play? Example, would a game scheduled Wednesday be too soon? And here we are on Monday night.
Yeah, a game Wednesday would be too soon. I mean, I think we were kind of thinking that maybe after the Indiana game, knowing the Nebraska game was canceled, we would get a call that you're going to play on Tuesday, somebody. I think they're zeroing in on that. They're looking at all the factors, a number of road games in a row, 1 or 2 day preps, all the things that we think about in terms of scheduling to make it fair and equitable. But we're going to get to a point where you're just running out of days and you're just going to play the games. You're going to play on 1 day preps. You may stay on the road for 2, 3. And the important thing then, guys, is don't complain about it. We always tend to look at, well, we're doing this, then that's what they should be doing. And there's a set element of truth to that. And we just kind of rely on our conference to be fair and equitable. But there's 2 guys in our conference office that are literally working around the clock on this stuff. And they're pretty good at it.
Yeah, it's like your point earlier, Coach. This is a period we've never been through before, and they didn't have the same issues in 1918 that we do today in 2021. So, guys, we'll take a couple-minute breather here, let you catch your breath, get a drink of water, let you know that we're brought to you tonight, Hawk Talk with Iowa basketball coach Fran McCaffery, brought to you by Authentic Brand. Gear up for Iowa's next game with Authentic Brand. It's a great Iowa company making Hawkeye apparel for men, women, and kids. And yes, they make heavy winter coats for a night like tonight. Bobby and I have our Authentic Brand apparel on tonight. I'm sitting here in my new hoodie. Now, I don't have to go outside either tonight. It'd be a little thin for that. But you just check out their fantastic website at authentic-brand.com, authentic-brand.com. And you can find Hawkeye apparel for the entire family. Bobby and I wear Authentic on game days. Available at local retailers, or you can order online at the aforementioned authentic-brand.com. Authentic Brand, look authentic, feel authentic, be authentic. Hawkeye Basketball and Hawk Talk with Fran McCaffery is brought to you by Bud Light. Whenever there's a Hawkeye game to watch, there's a Bud Light right nearby. We'll be back with more Hawk Talk with the head coach in a minute. Iowa at Illinois. A little bit of a later start on Friday night, presented by 1201 Kitchen and Tap in Coralville. We are tonight. More Hawk Talk with Fran McCaffery in just a minute.
Is your vehicle worn out from winter? Before spring arrives, get a free vehicle inspection from my dad, Brian Sekafetz, and his staff at Dodge Street Tire and Auto. For over 25 good years, they've been your family-friendly, dependable, and honest neighborhood auto repair shop. That's why their loyal customers have once again voted Dodge Street Tire as the best in the area. Don't be left out in the cold. Dodge Street Tire and Auto at the corner of Dodge and Church Street.
Insurance companies are in business to make money. Their stockholders insist on it. But a mutual insurance company does not answer to stockholders because it's actually owned by the policyholders. This makes it much easier for a mutual insurance company to step up and do the right thing. Something worth considering as you try to decide what kind of insurance company to trust with the future of your business. West Bend Mutual Insurance. The worst brings out our best. Visit thesilverlining.com to find out more.
Hi, I'm Steve Rowe, Executive Director at Oak Knoll. It's that time of year when shoveling snow and putting down ice melt is here. This is the perfect time to consider moving to Oak Knoll. Let us do the shoveling and winter maintenance for you. Move-in ready 1- and 2-bedroom apartments are available now. Call me today for your personal tour and learn how you can come home to Oak Knoll. Give the gift of a lifetime the gift of life care.
Get ready for more. Introducing Hy-Vee Plus. Get a Hy-Vee Plus premium membership for just $99 a year and get fuel savings every time you shop in-store and online. Plus, exclusive deals and offers every month. Plus, you can call our Red Line hotline day or night for anything you need. Plus, free online delivery and free express pickup. Plus, a personal online shopper. With Hy-Vee Plus, our plus equals more. Sign up today. Some restrictions apply.
Fans, if you want to give your taste buds the thrill of a dramatic, fun-filled victory, try Blue Bunny Loaded Sundaes. With a roster of all-star flavors, Loaded Sundaes have tons of toppings, swirled in deliciously soft ice cream. Even better, they come straight from the freezer, so you can grab one and get right back to the game. The next time you're in the freezer aisle, let your fun side act as head coach. Get Blue Bunny Loaded Sundaes, available now at your local grocery store.
Feel the power. Feel the speed. Feel extreme. Hawk fans, get extreme. Powered by Mediacom. And experience streaming so real you can feel it. Whether you're live streaming the game or streaming your favorite series. With supercharged speeds up to 1 gig and powerful whole home Wi-Fi, you're in it. Our 100% gigabit technology network was built to take you further. Get ready to feel it. Extreme. Powered by Mediacom.
Welcome back to Hawk Talk with Iowa basketball coach Fran McCaffery. Fran, Bobby, Hanson, and I are all snuggled in our homes in different parts of eastern Iowa tonight because of the weather, and we certainly hope that all of you in our listening audience are safe and sound, whether you have to be out in this snowstorm, blowing as it is, or if you're home gathered around the fireplace. We thank you for tuning in here on the Hawkeye Radio Network. We do know that our wonderful DOT workers and law enforcement folks are out there keeping the highways safe, and with that, we thank them very much, as we like to do. Hawk Talk with Fran McCaffery is brought to you by Iowa Corn. The Iowa Corn Cy-Hawk Series is on hold for this season. Iowa's corn farmers will continue to stand behind this unique series and everything it stands for, because here in Iowa, we grow corn, but the truth is, corn grows Iowa. Iowa, Illinois, coming up Friday night here on the Hawkeye Radio Network. Bobby and I will greet you at 7 o'clock with our pregame coverage, and then the tip-off at the State Farm Center at 8 o'clock. And Bobby, on that, Jay on Twitter wants to know, Bobby, your favorite memory of Iowa and Illinois and that historic rivalry, border rivalry down through the years.
Yeah, that's a good question, Gary. A lot of those games I don't remember, to be honest with you, but I do remember the final senior game. Would have been senior night, senior afternoon. It was a Saturday at Carver Hawkeye Arena. Mark Gannon and I were the seniors. Jerry Denard, another player up from California. So you do the pregame stuff, and then it was a tough contest, but we got the W in that one. So that probably, to answer the question, would be the one that sticks out. But Illinois had so many great players over the years. I go back to my freshman year. They had a team with Eddie Johnson, played like 18 years in the NBA, and then you go to Bruce Douglas and Deion Thomas on the other side of it, of the radio now for Illinois. But, the secret with Illinois is they've had great players over the years. Yeah,
fair point indeed. They sure have, and great tradition, as does the Iowa Hawkeyes. It's kind of a rarity playing Illinois on Senior Day, Bobby. That hasn't happened too often, or you get them at the end of the year.
Yeah, not sure how it happened, Gary. I tell you, that was 35 years ago. A lot of water under the bridge.
Times were different.
Henson, yeah, times were different.
Henson.
Not quite like it was a homecoming game or anything that you're teeing it up against Illinois, but yeah, I always love the battles with the Fighting Illini. Now they don't like us. I read Io Dosumu's comments, so looking forward to this one on Friday.
Yeah, Fran, their little smack talk at the end of those games last year, really, it's kind of heated up the last couple of years. I know Coach Brad at Illinois likes it. He says, now, we're not about the hate thing, but he said, I love great rivalries like Iowa, Illinois, and I'm sure you're on that same side of the fence.
Yeah, I'm not sure, about the whole rivalry thing. I mean, to me, we have a lot of really good teams in this league, and some teams you play them twice, some teams you play them once, and, some teams you play them twice next year and once this year. I kind of look at it as a team that I have respect for. They have an excellent coach. They've got great players. They're really good on a national level, but the whole rivalry thing, I don't know. I'm not from here originally. So, you tell me it's a rivalry, it's a rivalry. I think, there's certain natural rivals. We're a bordering state. We always talk about Iowa State being a rivalry game, obviously with two teams in the same state. Michigan State. There's always been sort of any team that I've coached, there's always been that one team that is without question a different feel to it. I would say that this game has a different feel to it simply because both teams are good. We've had really good games with them. Going back, even when Bruce was there, when I first got here and we weren't as good, we had really good games with them. And, knocked them off, down in the conference tournament the one year, played them tough. We've had some really, really good games, since I've been here. But I feel the same way about Wisconsin, Michigan State, Indiana, Minnesota. We got a lot of bordering states with teams that we have the similar respect for.
And on Twitter, Jorge, George or Jorge, I hope I got it right either way. I apologize to the caller. Without giving anything you do away, do you play Jack and Luka when Kofi is in the game? Jack and Luka. I'm not sure where he's going with that. I see what he's saying. Do you play them both in there at the same time? Okay.
I think he's probably figuring, maybe are you guys going to double big with two bigs? The bottom line is we're going to play Jack and Luka together some. We're going to play Jack coming in for Luka some. We're going to play, Connor and Kenyon at forward. We're going to play Patrick and Joe. The beautiful thing about this team is we've got the flexibility. They go small a lot. So, maybe he's asking, okay, if they go small, are you going big? So if they play Williams at the 4, are you going to play Jack Nungy at the 4? Or are you going to play Jack Nungy at the 4 when they play Georgie at the 4? So, I'm not really going to have it dictated to me. I'm going to play the guys that I think can come in the game and help us at any particular point in time. I have great confidence in Jack. I've got great confidence in Kenya. I have great confidence in Patrick. And those guys are all going to play.
Coach, talk about Tony Perkins. He got in there some extended minutes in the last, a little bit by foul trouble. Keegan got the couple quick fouls, and now you're starting to mix and match some different combinations in there. But I like that kid's body. He's strong, power guard.
He had a really, really good about 10 days of practice. He's a combo guard. CJ goes down. I needed to go to somebody else. I feel comfortable going with Ulis as well because Ulis can play both spots. I look at him more as a point, but he can play in the backcourt with J-Bo, with Joe, with Connor, with the ball or without the ball. They both can score. I just thought that Tony had a really good week, deserved to get in there. I told him be ready because I didn't know what CJ was going to be able to do, and of course he wasn't able to do anything in that game. So we got Tony in there, and I think the more experience he gets, the better he's going to be.
Coach, from Steve on Facebook. Coach, could you talk a little bit about Keegan Murray's progress? Were you expecting him to be this good, this fast?
Yeah, I kind of expected Keegan to do what he's doing. He's a gifted, versatile player who understands the game. He doesn't let his emotions control him. And that's an important aspect. And I don't mean to say that he doesn't play with emotion, because he does. But he doesn't get sideways if he makes a mistake or if he misses a shot or he commits a dumb foul, he just kind of keeps plugging away. I trust him with the ball. I trust him playing forward. I trust him handling the ball. I trust him shooting threes. Defensively, he's really good. He takes advantage of his length. He can slide his feet. He's not jumpy where he's flying at every fake. He has a real keen sense of how to play the game. And then, and we talk about this we've talked about this on this broadcast many times. You got to understand the anatomy of the game. Every game is different. Some games are more physical. Some games are faster. Some games are slower. Some teams are different in how they play. Sometimes your role in a particular game is going to be different than it was the game before, than it will be in the next game. And you've got to understand that. You got to understand time and score coming down the stretch. If we're in zone, why are we in zone? If we're pressing, why are we pressing? Are we in the bonus or not? Are they in the bonus or not? And he just kind of gets it. And a lot of times it takes a while for freshmen to kind of grasp all of that. And I didn't think it would be hard for him, and it hasn't been.
Coach, question for Joe Wieskamp. 15 points in the first half, just one free throw in the second half. I got to watch the little bit of the replay. I think it was yesterday or the day before. They do that Big Ten Network 60 in 60 minutes, and I happened to turn it on right about that 11-minute mark. And, yeah, they were guarding Joe, but is this the point you sit him down and look at that video and say, here's an opportunity. You could have gone right there. You could have gone right there. Be a little more aggressive.
The thing about Joe is, he knows he can shoot anytime he wants. I'm not going to say a word to him. I will never say that was a bad shot. And let's face it, he's taken some bad shots. He's taken some contested threes. He's driven into packs of people and turned it over. But he doesn't do that a lot. He has the total green light. They were mugging him pretty good. So he's got to be able to deal with that, the physicality of it. He's not a selfish guy. He's not going to hunt shots, and he's not a me guy. You got to love that about him. I would encourage him to shoot more, to keep shooting. I thought he competed. He had a ton of rebounds in that game. I thought defensively he was competing. He was really trying. We didn't execute our motion game very well, and oftentimes that's when he gets most of his shots because the guys do screen for him. We ran some sets. We can run some more sets for him, but when we line up in a set, they really mug him, and so you're relying on, hey, they're putting their hands on him. Can we get a call? That kind of thing. Nothing he's not used to. He sees it every game. So, I thought he still played really well, and I think he'll play really well on Friday.
A lot of people inside tonight. We're getting a lot of great comments and questions on Facebook and Twitter. Here's another one for Fran. This is from Kyle. Coach, I've noticed that the Hawks have had a lot of success switching between man and zone defense. I was wondering, for you, is that more of a feel as when to switch from one D to the other, or do you script it to a certain extent? Thanks for the hard work you put in to make this show. I really enjoy the show, and I love watching the Hawks play. Well, thank you, Kyle. All right, Coach, on switching defenses.
I think it's a really good question, and it's an appropriate question because I think there are coaches that coach that way. We're going to go to a zone at the second media timeout or the third media timeout, or we're going to save it for the second half. We're only going to press after free throws, and we're only going to play zone out of timeouts. There's a lot of ways you can go, but to specifically answer this question, I do it by feel. We typically start in man. How is it looking? Sometimes it'll be pretty good, but you'll have a little bit of foul trouble, so you'll go zone. We got to protect Luka. He's got his first foul. He's got his second foul. We're gonna stay zone and try to keep him out of foul trouble, guard less ball screens, that kind of thing. Then we'll kind of get a sense of, okay, we went zone. Now you played man, you pressed a little on free throws, you played some zone. What do we like? What's working? We chart it. What's their success rate against man? What's their success rate against zone? And then we play different zones. So sometimes we'll shift and play a different zone and see if we can, confuse them a little bit that way, match up a little bit that way. So it's really kind of how are they handling it? How are we playing it? Sometimes you go to a zone, you think it's the smartest thing, and the guys are just sideways with their slides. We're not where we need to be. Everybody's open. And the problem then becomes, if they're open, there's a good chance they're shooting threes. So all of a sudden, they hit 2 or 3 threes in a row. It's like, man, why are we in zone? We got to go back, man. At least get a hand in their face, contain them a little bit better. If they're scoring, at least they're only getting 2. So there's a lot of factors that go into it. So that was a really good question.
And thank you, Kyle and Jake. By the way, if we don't get your question in tonight, Coach is here for a few more minutes. If we don't get your question in tonight, we'll carry it over to next week. Fran, before we let you go here, we've got about 5 minutes remaining in your segment. Couple of items. Tomorrow is the first anniversary of Kobe Bryant's death. The helicopter crash in California that tragically took his life, his daughter's life, and close to 10 people on that helicopter. Your thoughts on Kobe? He's a Philadelphia guy. You're from Philly. I know how much you treasured his game and watching him play, and how much your boys loved watching Kobe. What did he bring to the table? What did he bring to the game? What do we miss about Kobe?
I think what everybody appreciated about him was how fierce a competitor he was. I'm a little bit different because I watched him grow up. I remember watching his dad play for LaSalle in the Big Five in Philadelphia. Then he played for the Sixers, of course. His dad, Joe, was a tremendous, tremendous player, ahead of his time. He wanted to be a 6'10" guard in the 70s when everybody would yell at you and say, get on the block, get inside. He wanted to dribble it and go behind his back and shoot threes. And so when Kobe came along, he did kind of what Kobe's done. What is he? He's a guard. He's a forward. He can post. He can shoot threes. He can drive and dunk. He can guard anybody on the floor. So he was the epitome of the modern game player. But I think the way he impacted this generation of players is he had so many great seasons. He was so consistently good. He won championships. He played every night. He didn't talk about load management. He just showed up and played. And if you lined up in front of him, you better bring your A game, or else you weren't going to get outplayed. You were going to get embarrassed. So I think that's what people loved about him. I think at the end, people really, regardless of how you felt about him as a player, I think you warmed up to him as a dad. The way he loved his daughter and the way he promoted her. And he was on his way to, I think, really promoting the women's game. Yeah. I think you were seeing that, and the relationships he had with some of the great women players in the game today. I think as sad as the basketball world was, I think, anybody who's a dad, really felt that one hard. Especially, I got a daughter, and watching them together and knowing how much fun they were going to have with her career, and how much he was looking forward to that. So I think, from that standpoint, it's very, very sad. But fortunately, everybody remembers him fondly. Like I said, I knew his dad well. I knew his uncle. His uncle was a great player. Chubby Cox played at Villanova, played at San Francisco. I knew his grandfather. I recruited Kobe to go to Notre Dame when people thought he might play 1 year of college basketball. Mm-hmm. But as we all know, he did the right thing, went right to the league.
Lastly, Coach Henry Aaron, I know what a big baseball fan you are in a National League town of Philadelphia, but we all mourn the loss of the great Hammer and Hank. Henry Aaron, I'm just curious, did you ever see Henry? Did you get to see Henry play in Philly?
I sure did. I remember specifically a game I went to. It was 1972. Steve Carlton was the Cy Young Award winner that year, 27 wins, like a 1.1 ERA.
Mm-hmm.
He just packed Veterans Stadium every night, and he won like 15 games in a row. He was on his way to, and they played the Braves. I went down to see him pitch against Hank Aaron. The thing about, and the Braves won, by the way, but the thing that I remember about Hank Aaron is, he's often remembered as a guy who broke Babe Ruth's record. That was a big deal. That was a record that was never going to be 714 home runs. Nobody's ever going to break that. But the thing that I remember about him is he was just an unbelievable hitter. I mean, he set the record for runs batted in. He scored more runs than anybody. He had more singles than anybody. He had more doubles than anybody. I mean, this guy, he would hit it anywhere. And the ball came off the bat different when he swung it. But I think he was a gentleman, and he grew up at a time when he played in the Negro Leagues, and he played with Jackie Robinson, and he dealt with a lot of horrible things. But boy, was he a class act.
He was.
He was a class act. And without a doubt, I would say he was the best hitter I've ever seen. I mean, and I saw Pete Rose, who's got, and I saw Barry Bonds and a lot of really good hitters, Rod Carew. And for my money, Hank Aaron was the best hitter that ever played baseball.
I wouldn't disagree with you. He had 3,700 hits when you think about a power hitter, and he was one of the first members of the 30-30 club, 30 homers, 30 stolen bases.
He was really fast.
He was very fast.
Stolen bases. Hey, you know what he did? He was a guy that understood how to win.
He was a winner.
He was all about winning. Yeah.
I read a great article yesterday, Fran, where when he was asked when he came out of the Negro Leagues, he was trying to figure out who to sign with, and he signed with the Boston Braves, who became the Milwaukee Braves, and I saw him play in Milwaukee a number of times. But he said, you know what? It came down to the Braves and the New York Giants. He said, I've often wondered what it would have been like with Willie Mays and myself in the same outfield.
How about that?
Can you imagine those two?
And Willie McCovey at first base, right?
Oh, man.
Juan Marichal on the mound.
Talk about guys that can shoot the three.
Yeah.
Coach, great stuff. We'll see you at Champaign on Friday night. Go get the Illini.
Sounds good, Doc. See you soon.
All right. Thanks, Coach. There you go, Fran. Fran McCaffery, Hawk Talk with Coach McCaffery, brought to you by 1201 Kitchen and Tap. Bobby Hansen and I will take it the rest of the way tonight. Before we go any further, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification here on the Hawkeye Radio Network. 10-second ID break. You're listening to Hawk Talk with Fran McCaffery. And when we come back to our Monday night get-together with Coach McCaffery and Bobby Hansen, we'll take a look at the Big Ten standings, give you a U.S. Bank scoreboard update. That's all ahead next.
Get your ice cold Bud Light Seltzer here. Even though you can't go to the game, doesn't mean the game can't be brought to you now here. Just go to budlight.com/delivery. That's budlight.com/delivery.
Give me 2 mangoes.
Coming at you. It's a little short. Ow. Sorry. You know what? I'm just going to walk them over to you.
Whenever there's a game to watch, there's a Bud Light there. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light Beer, and Bud Light Seltzer, IRC Beer in Texas, St. Louis, Missouri.
They say nothing in life is free. Well, we're here to tell you they're wrong. Because when you switch to US Cellular, you can get the latest 5G phones for free with no hidden requirements. Yes, you heard that right. The Samsung Galaxy S20 FE or the Google Pixel 5 for free with no hidden requirements. As in zip, zilch, zero. And the best part is, 5G is included on all plans. So go ahead, make the upgrade to 5G today. US Cellular. Terms and conditions apply. See store or uscellular.com for details.
Like any winning team, it takes every part of EMC Insurance Companies working together to successfully ensure that our agents, policyholders, and employees can count on EMC. And they do. They count on our broad range of insurance products and services. They count on our superior level of personalized service, and they trust that we will continue to be a financially stable partner, just like we have been for more than 100 years. All of this makes EMC one of the nation's premier insurance companies, and that's something you can always count on.
Do you ever feel like you spend more time trying to work out than actually working out? Skip the hassles and bring the gym into your home with help from the friendly fitness experts at Shields. We'll help you choose the right equipment to meet your goals, and we'll be right there with you for delivery, setup, and service. And with the Shields guarantee, you never take a chance on your purchase. If you don't love it, we'll make it right. This year, it's your space, your time, your fitness, with a little help from Shields. In store or online at shields.com.
The Iowa Lottery's new cash game is clearly different.
What? How?
Because you can see right through it.
How can you see through a ticket?
Well, it's clear.
What's clear? I don't understand.
I'm being as clear as I can, just like the new scratch ticket.
Okay, I'm still unclear. How much cash can you win?
$100,000 top prize on the ticket plus $200,000 in Play It Again prizes.
That's a lot of cash.
Clearly.
The new cash game from the Iowa Lottery. The difference is clear. Visit ialottery.com for rules and complete details.
Woohoo!
Expert care for sports injuries means getting back in the game sooner and stronger. I'm Dr. Brian Wolf, Director at University of Iowa Sports Medicine and Team Physician for the Iowa Hawkeyes. You should never play through pain. That's why our sports medicine experts are here for you with same day, next day, and evening appointments. For imaging, therapy, or surgery, choose the team the Iowa Hawkeyes choose. Schedule a visit at uihc.org/sportsmedicine.
Welcome back to Hawk Talk with Iowa basketball coach Fran McCaffery. A very lively first hour of the show tonight with Coach and Bobby Hansen, and Fran's off to review videotape of Illinois, the next opponent for Iowa on Friday night. And we'll go from there. Hopefully no more postponements, and they can get Michigan State and Nebraska rescheduled and get back on track. In the meantime, let's give you an update, U.S. Bank scoreboard update. No Big Ten games tonight. It's kind of a lean Monday night. We've got one final and a couple games starting. Virginia, 8th-ranked Virginia, playing really well here in the last couple weeks with a 46-point second half, pulled away from Syracuse in the second period and beat the Orange 81-58. Tony Bennett over Jim Boeheim tonight. Just underway on Big Monday. Texas Tech is at West Virginia, Big 12 basketball. And that's all we have on the scoreboard right now. Of course, we've got Iowa, Illinois on Friday night. No Big Ten action tonight. We'll be back with more. That's our U.S. Bank scoreboard update. We're brought to you by 1201 Kitchen and Tap. They bring you Hawk Talk with Fran McCaffery each and every Monday night throughout the basketball season. Also, a proud sponsor of Hawkeye basketball is U.S. Cellular. U.S. Cellular, proud to be the official wireless sponsor of Iowa basketball and the Iowa Hawkeyes. U.S. Cellular, connecting Hawkeye Nation. You Hawk fans, make sure you go to HawkeyeSports.com and download the latest official podcast of the Iowa Hawkeyes. It's called Fight for Iowa. It's up there right now, presented by the Iowa Lottery. We got Tyler Lindebaum, Iowa's outstanding center, this past week. And starting this Wednesday, we upload a new edition, a new program every Wednesday. We'll be talking with Iowa women's volleyball coach Vicki Brown this week on our Fight for Iowa podcast, sponsored by the Iowa Lottery. Hawk Talk with Fran McCaffery is brought to you by 1201 Kitchen and Tap in Coralville, and we're back with more in just a minute.
Staying connected means games can still feel like this, even if they actually sound like this. That's why U.S. Cellular is building a 5G network that works from outside to inside uninterrupted, so you can stay connected even if you aren't at the game. Right now, get unlimited data for just $30 a month. Check out uscellular.com for more info. U.S. Cellular. Data may be temporarily slower than other traffic and times of congestion. Video streams at up to 480p DVD quality. Credit approval and autopay paperless billing required. Additional terms apply.
Primary care providers should be able to look at patients, read between the lines, and know something's not right. Hi, I'm Dr. Denise Martinez at University of Iowa Healthcare. 80% of conditions can be treated by a family medicine doctor, so our comprehensive and caring approach is key. And if it turns out to be serious or out of our scope, we'll connect you to the right specialists right away. With experts all across the region, find one near you at uihc.org.
Get ready for more. Introducing Hy-Vee Plus. Get a Hy-Vee Plus premium membership for just $99 a year and get fuel savings every time you shop in-store and online. Plus, exclusive deals and offers every month. Plus, you can call our Red Line hotline day or night for anything you need. Plus, free online delivery and free express pickup. Plus, a personal online shopper. With Hy-Vee Plus, our plus equals more. Sign up today. Some restrictions apply.
Hi, Hawkeye fans. Gary Dolphin here for UPS. Your customers want more from your business. You've got to make more happen, whether they're in Coralville or on the other side of the world. Globally or locally, UPS is building solutions to help businesses give their customers exactly what they want. More made easy. UPS, the official logistics company of Iowa Athletics.
Experience the benefit of blue with a Medicare supplement plan from Wellmark Blue Cross and Blue Shield. With our plans, you'll enjoy nationwide access to care, optional dental, vision, and hearing coverage, and more. Call 1-888-616-8927 or go online to wellmark.com/Medicare plans. You may even qualify for a special household discount. This is the benefit of blue. Wellmark Blue Dental product available to Iowa residents only. Must reside in the service area of the plan. Wellmark Medicare supplement insurance plans are not connected with or endorsed by any government agency.
United Healthcare believes small businesses are vital to our economy and an important part of our communities. Join United Healthcare in celebrating small businesses. We want to recognize your business with the Spotlight on Small Business Sweepstakes. You could win a chance to promote your business to Hawk fans. Winners receive radio promotions, social media recognition, and more. Register to put your business in the spotlight. Visit HawkeyeSports.com/UHC. United Healthcare is a proud sponsor of Hawkeye Athletics. For terms and conditions, visit HawkeyeSports.com/UHC. Sweepstakes rules and restrictions apply.
Welcome back to Hawk Talk with Iowa basketball coach Fran McCaffery. I'm Gary Dolphin, along with former Hawkeye great Bobby Hansen, who played almost 10 years in the NBA with the Utah Jazz and the Chicago Bulls. We're brought to you by 1201 Kitchen and Tap. Bobby, good stuff from Fran before he had to leave about Kobe Bryant tomorrow, the first anniversary of his tragic passing in a helicopter crash with his beautiful daughter and 8 other folks a year ago tomorrow. I know you didn't play against Kobe. You retired a couple years before his career started in the mid-'90s. Did you ever? I know you've met him. You've had some interaction with him. I know you like him.
Yeah, absolutely, Gary. Just brief interaction with him. And, growing up as a kid, the Sixers were really good. Dr. J, Daryl Dawkins, that team that got into the NBA Finals, I think lost to Bill Walton and Portland. But I always liked the Sixers. I always liked, Fran talked about Joe Jellybean Bryant. I always liked Joe because he was different. He was a high flyer, yet he was bringing the ball down the court, as Fran said, at 6'9". So I always liked him. And then had an opportunity at Utah Jazz after I had retired. Frank Layden always remained close to the coach. Frank, he called and said, "Hey, why don't you bring the family out here for spring break playing the Lakers? And you always like the D-up Magic and the Lakers, so come back and enjoy the game and hang out with Barbara and I." So we did, and lo and behold, the hotel that Frank had us in was the hotel where the Lakers were staying, right across the street from the arena. Didn't know if we'd see him or what, but the kids were little. Bailey's now 34 years old, be 34 years old, so she had to be like 8, 9 years old. And we're on the same floor as the Lakers. At the hotel across the street. So, again, you don't know if you're going to see him or what. But our youngest was little, had to get a nap. So I took the 2 other girls and we went outside in the hallway. And lo and behold, there's Kobe. At the elevator door opens, he gets in, he sees us coming. And instead of, hitting close like some people would, he kept it open for us. He stuck his big hand out there and said, "Come on in." And stuck his hand out and introduced him to the girls and introduced myself. And he said, "I know who you are." I said, "Yeah, I think I played against your dad." And he just said, "Yeah, you might have, but good to meet you. And that had to be his first year or his second year in the NBA, because he was barely 20 years old, but was always impressed by that, and what a mark it left on our daughters, two oldest daughters, Bailey and Carly, and I think they both still to this day have their Kobe jersey somewhere that we ended up buying there that night. Phenomenal talent, he sure was. Kobe Bryant, we remember him on the first anniversary of his death tomorrow. I don't know if I ever told you this. My favorite elevator story was we're at the Rose Bowl 5 years ago, and I'm up at 4:30 in the morning so we can get out to the bowl game, or out to the stadium in Pasadena. As you know, it's a long haul from downtown Los Angeles, so it's probably 5 o'clock in the morning, and I'm hopping down on the elevator, and it drops down about 3 or 4 floors, stops, opens, and I thought, now who in the world would be getting on the elevator at this hour of the day? In steps Kareem Abdul-Jabbar with his daughter. And I know it's Kareem for obvious reasons, and he's folded over like an envelope to get in the elevator, and I'm looking at him, and he's looking at me, and he smiles, and I go, you know what, I'm sure you get stared at a lot, but I just love the way you played, and I want to introduce myself. And he just a classy human being. And we get off the elevator, and I go, hey, if you don't mind a broadcaster being somewhat inquisitive, why are you up with your daughter at 5 o'clock in the morning? You got something going on at the Rose Bowl? He goes, well, yeah, I'm the parade marshal. He was the star of the show, and I go, oh, I'm sorry, Kareem, I'm a little tunnel visioned here on getting ready for Christian McCaffery and the Stanford Cardinal, and of course we all know how that turned out. But also, since we're talking about Kobe's passing and Hank Aaron's passing, I wanted to mention our thoughts and prayers and sympathies to the family of Lonnie Nielsen. Lonnie, a great golfer on the PGA Tour for 5-6 years back in the 70s and 80s. Tremendous golfer at Iowa. Turned professional in 1975. Was a club pro for 20-30 years. He won 2 times on the Champions Tour back in 2007 and 2009. Inducted into the New York and the Iowa Golf Hall of Fame in 2010, and the Greater Buffalo Sports Hall of Fame in 2018. We remember Lonnie Nielsen taken way too young at 67 from pancreatic cancer. So the Nielsen family, born and raised in Belle Plaine. Iowa boy makes well. Keep Lonnie and his family in your thoughts and prayers. We'll come back to take a look at the Big Ten standings next year on Hawk Talk with Fran McCaffery, brought to you by 1201 Kitchen and Tap.
Is your vehicle worn out from winter? Before spring arrives, get a free vehicle inspection from my dad, Brian Sekafetz, and his staff at Dodge Street Tire and Auto. For over 25 good years, they've been your family-friendly, dependable, and honest neighborhood auto repair shop. That's why their loyal customers have once again voted Dodge Street Tire as the best in the area. Don't be left out in the cold. Dodge Street Tire and Auto at the corner of Dodge and Church Street.
American Equity salutes today's hero of the game and is a proud sponsor of the ongoing recognition of our military at Hawkeye Games this season. Thank you to all the men and women, past and present, who have served our country and allow all of us to enjoy the freedom and liberty we enjoy today. American Equity's vision is to become the premier insurance company specializing in retirement savings and income products. To learn more about our company, please visit our website at american-equity.com.
Hi, I'm Steve Rowe, Executive Director at Oak Knoll. It's that time of year when shoveling snow and putting down ice melt is here. This is the perfect time to consider moving to Oak Knoll. Let us do the shoveling and winter maintenance for you. Move-in ready 1- and 2-bedroom apartments are available now. Call me today for your personal tour and learn how you can come home to Oak Knoll. Give the gift of a lifetime, the gift of life care.
Champions share common traits: integrity, reliability, hard work, and innovation. Your Better Business Bureau knows championship companies. We conduct background checks and listen to consumers around Iowa and Illinois, so we know the true character of these companies. Let the BBB match you with a championship company when you're hiring a contractor, using a business, or need a service. The Better Business Bureau is an Iowa nonprofit serving our neighbors for over 80 years. BBB help and information is free. So find us at bbb.org/Iowa.
Mid-American Energy and you, together partnering to change the energy landscape by pioneering money-saving, energy efficiency programs and building a new industry in Iowa, wind energy, all while keeping your rates low. So what's next? We'll keep delivering cost-effective energy efficiency programs while putting money back in your pocket. That's right. You decide how best to spend your savings. That's a partnership good for you, good for the environment, and good for Iowa. Another way we're obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
How do you become America's best-selling brand? Let's break it down. Innovative tech means smarter and safer driving. Intelligent all-wheel drive will keep you ready for anything. And built Ford tough trucks will always get the job done.